Hi guys, this is Richard Cockhill for Forest Schools Level 3, Unit 2, 2.4, extinguishing our permanent fire. There's a few small differences with our permanent fire. Number one is that the earth underneath our fire has been cleared away, and I've taken the time to line that with rocks and then a layer of clay. We have quite a lot of clay deposits around the area, and that's something that's really nice and safe to have a fire on top of. So we can have a fire here just about any time of the year and be reasonably safe that the ground itself isn't going to burn. We've got the classic situation of every now and again the wind changes and I'm going to get a big face full of smoke, but we'll try and crack on as best we can, and hopefully you can see my fire there. One of the most important things working with the young folk out in the woods is the management of the timing of the fire. We want the fire to be burning down to embers before we need to be packing away, and the young folk need to be a part of that. The students need to be part of that, that they're not, just hunking on big branches or anything like that, things that are going to make the fire last longer and extend the time that we need to manage the fire. But also we want to think about things like that the only thing that we allow to burn on the fire is fuel, is the wood. Really, wood being the only thing really that we burn out here, and we're not throwing crisp packets or plastic bottles or anything like that on. Number one, that's really bad for sort of the environment and that kind of thing, but also because we cook on these fires, we don't want those gases and horrible stuff kind of coming into contact with our food. So because we've got a permanent fire here, a permanent fireplace, is we're not as worried about having some slightly larger bits of charcoal left when we leave the fire. So long as they are appropriately doused and out, we can use them. And actually, if the weather agrees and we don't have any rain in between time, they can be used for the next fire, and that's actually quite a good way of getting your fire going. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to spread out my embers, staying within the confines of my fireplace. Spread that out nice and wide. As usual, we've got our Burns kit, our Burns bowl. We also have a pair of gloves handy should we need it. But hopefully the point is that we're not going to be touching anything too hot. It's a wee bit of a good idea that we maybe just give our rocks a bit of a test as well. We don't want cold water going on rocks, that can make them shatter. Really, these rocks are just a temporary kind of thing just to define the fire just now, but that wouldn't be normal. Normally it would be a square of logs to define the fireplace, and we can see very clearly that will be on fire or not. So I'm going to use water and spread that around. I'm going to work from the outside in to extinguish our fire, and yeah, we'll crack on. I'm going to work from the outside in, just so we don't get big clouds of steam. We don't want that kind of ruining our day. A big face full of steam wouldn't be good at all. If time allows, then spreading out the fire, that kind of reduces the heat very quickly. And if we know we're going to be leaving in a wee while and we've got a convenient sized fire, we've got a little bit more in there. We've got that convenient size of fire, we can spread it out and let it cool naturally. It'll take even less water to do this. Don't mind too much because it means we don't have to haul the water back out again. And there we go, we're just going to get that nice and saturated now. Making sure I get all the bits. And with my stick, I'm just going to kind of mix that in, make sure that we get the whole, every little bit. The students, of course, will be using the respect position with one leg up. I'm afraid I've got a few wee back problems, and it's a little bit uncomfortable to me. I don't think you would see me on camera as well. I think it will be out the road. There we go, we can see a wee bit of steam in there, so we'll just add a bit more. After we've doused our fireplace, like I say, we can leave this charcoal here once we know that it's cold, and we test that by keeping a hand on there. That's nice and cool now. Once we've done that, we'd also want to check around the site for any litter, any personal belongings, very important, any tools or anything that have been left around, which they shouldn't have done of course, but it doesn't hurt to check. And we can leave our permanent site like this to be used again nice and flat and spread out so that nothing's gonna get caught in the wind and get whipped up again. So if we leave the fuel that has heat in it, then a wee whip of wind would add the oxygen, completing our fire triangle, and then whoomph! And that should be nice and cool there. I'm very happy that we've tidied everything up, that we're all good to go, our jackets on, and we're returning to our class or home or whatever that may be. The woods are safe and everyone's happy. Cheers guys.